What's up, friends? Marquise Martin Hayes. It is show time. Time for us to cleanse, heal, and reset. Those of you who are joining, listen, I am excited to connect with you. I've got notes and things that I want to make sure I capture. Go ahead and familiarize yourself with the chat box. Those of you on YouTube, I should be able to read your chats. Please feel free to go ahead and comment. Let me know you're there. If you're on Facebook, you can comment there as well. But this is our time. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to connect and share all of this content with you all. And so now is the time we get to do that. We get to do that. So go ahead and comment. That helps me to know that, hey, Marquise, yes, I'm here. I'm paying attention. Those of you on LinkedIn, I believe you can see it as well. If you're on Instagram, I don't think you can comment, but I know you are watching. So, yes, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Oh, I see. I got private chats coming. I love it. I appreciate it. All right, let's get started. So it's the top of the hour. I'm only going to keep you for about an hour. I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I want to give as much as I possibly can because I want to get back out and play myself. So today, when we talk about this idea of cleanse, heal, and reset, I want to give you some tools that can help make that happen for you. First of all, when we talk about this idea of cleanse, the idea of cleanse, what comes to mind for you? What do you think about? Do you think about detoxing? That's good. Detoxing has layers. What do you think about? You think about spring cleaning the house? I know for some people they're like, yes, it's like spring cleaning. I'm like, yeah, it's that too. Today I want to work with this idea of taking the time to remove clutter. It's all you're doing. You're really taking the time to remove clutter that's been in your space. The idea behind that is if it's food and you need to detox, then yeah, let's do that. But if it's also mental and you need to clear your head of social media, clear your head of the news, clear your head of people who, whether they are toxic or not, when you leave, you don't feel right. You see, this idea of cleansing is truly a personal responsibility and one I invite you into because it's going to give you the tools and the capability to then show up. But we can't do it until we take the time because I know when I look at my life and I think about what I'm walking through and when I want to expand to a new level, I've got to first go here. And so today we're going to start here. We're going to start with the mind because until the mind begins to detox and cleanse, everything else is just an idea. Everything else is a hope. Everything else is a wish. But the problem is these here, these glasses that go over my eyes, they give me the perception of what I think is transpiring. And if for any reason these are dirty or filthy, it impacts what I see. So today I want to start by bringing in a special guest, Liza Soul. She's a woman's coach, meditation coach. She's absolutely amazing. She's going to lead us through 5-10 minute meditation because we've got to start with our mind. And as we start there, then we can open up and you'll be able to take in the other aspects I want to share with you also. So let's get Liza on, have her introduce herself. What's happening, Rockstar? How are you?
Hi. So
Good
nice
to
to
see
meet you.
Good
Thank
to
you.
have you with us. Before you lead us into meditation, can you talk to us from your expertise? Well, introduce yourself, but then talk to us from your expertise for a couple of minutes about the power of meditation. Because this is something, this is as a matter of fact, guys, write this down. Number one, you need to meditate daily. That's one of the first steps in cleansing. You need to meditate daily. So, Liza, I'm gonna get out of the way and let you talk. Please share with us.
So I'm Liza Soul. I work with different women from all over the places that are struggling with self-love, struggling with self-worth, that's coming out of a toxic relationship and just didn't figure it out. So what next? What now? How can I really give me the time, the space to own my energy that I really deserve? And uh, it's been a journey now, and I love it. And right now I'm here in Brazil, and yeah, And the power of meditation is really it calms you down, and the goal is that when you go more and more into that space, that's why Marquis said it's good to have like a routine. Then you can take that also in your daily life, and that means you make clear decisions. You can handle like straight, you're not losing your energy by, oh, should I do this, should I do that, because we lose a lot of energy when we do that. So if you have your focus very clear, then it has more lightness in everything. Then everything can flow the right way. Then the love can come to you, and everything else. Then you can really show up who you really are. And this journey, it begins inside of us. And that's why I want to invite you, especially when we had like a busy week, working a lot. It's so good to take the time to breathe out properly and really to connect again with our body and ourselves. And yeah, we're gonna start. It's gonna be short, and it's also a tool that you can use every day when you feel like it's tense. And most of the people are like, oh, I feel tense, I'm gonna do it for, I don't know, the next retreat maybe in 6 months. No, when you feel you're stressed, then it's the right time to do it, because we don't give the flowers the water when it's raining, right? We should do it when it's dry. So that's why it's very, very powerful. So let's begin. Find uh, a space, sit down, like very comfortable on your chair. Your feet are touching the floor, your whole back is straight. You lift your arms up, and we start with the fire breath. It's 5, 4, continue breathing. 3, 2, 1, and take slowly your hands down, very slowly, as if you would take all that peace that is there into your body. Put your hands on your chest, on your heart, and feel that space without judging, without controlling, without trying. Just be. Appreciate the time with you. And we're gonna go for a second round. Lift your arms up, up, up to the sky and breathe. Breathe fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly take your arms down. Relax your body. Put your hands on your heart. Feel that spirit, that space, your whole being. your foot, your legs, your hips, your belly. And with every breath that you're taking, you're relaxing more and more, coming more and more to your space, your inner clarity, your gifts, your inner garden, because everything you need is already inside of you. Your heart is so powerful, and you breathe in and out. Breathe peace in and gratitude out. Peace in, gratitude out. And last time we put our hands up. Last round. Breathe again and with all your power into your belly, to your stomach, to your throat. Take all that air in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold your breath. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Feel that space inside of you. And breathe trust out. Breathe slowly all the air inside you, all the thoughts, all what is gone in the past. Breathe it out and just feel that peace, that energy. Your skin, your heartbeat, your clarity in your head. And we breathe normally in and out, and I'm gonna count backwards and we're gonna come back to the space very slowly. 5, you feel trust, you feel nurtured, you feel peace. 4, you're embracing all of your essence, your heart, yourself, your uniqueness. 3, everything that is here can be here, and you're allowing yourself to receive. 2, joy and happiness is a part of your life. 1, come here, back to this room, and you can open softly your eyes. Just be here. Thank you so much for your time, and the motivation to clear your mind and your inner space.
Thank you. Thank you for leading us through that. I don't know how many of you were present. I'd grab a couple notes, but it was gentle. It allowed me to slow down and connect. And I hope that you all experienced that same emotion. So, a couple questions for you around this idea of meditation. Is there such thing as too little? I know a lot of us getting started often feel like we don't have enough time. And so we miss the gift that's possible. Is it possible to meditate 2 to 5 minutes and get something from it?
Yeah, like it's like a cup of glass, and every drop of water that you're putting in it's moving through this range of your healing, of your happiness, of your peace. And like you used to say, like sip a little bit of water. And I think the same thing is really caring about your mental health, because
Mhm.
it's going to impact all your life circumstances in your relationship. You will communicate differently. You have another energetic signature, and that means that you have such a big impact also for your children, because they they learn from what they see and less from what they heard what they should do.
Mhm.
So that is such a changer to have that inner peace. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I know that for me, it used to be I had to be running. When I was running, then I would meditate half hour, 2 hours. But I've noticed the 5 minutes, just taking the time to focus in, really can do that. Really can do that. So, one other thing. You don't have to have soft music to meditate, do you? Or what's the story on that? Some people don't find it comfortable. Is there any rule?
No, no, there's no rule. I prefer the frequency music because it allows me to come quicker into space, especially
Yep.
when I don't have that time,
Yep.
or when I'm sick and I try to heal. I listen a lot of frequency
Yep.
music, and
That's right.
there's a lot of studies that they do that also plants really um, feel that frequency. And we are like plants too. We have 80% of water inside of us, so
Yeah.
we feel that. And but you can also do without music. You can also, like, everything that you do and you're not thinking about of, like,
Mhm.
some people like to surf, some people like to run, some people
Mhm.
like to do sport. That is all in connected like it's actually getting in connection with your body.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
like really allowing to just do nothing, because there is so many distractions nowadays,
Yeah.
and we really forget our essence. Like, and that is so unique, and everybody has like this special smile or this special
Mhm.
look or this special way to do something. Even if you have a recipe and you do the same thing, it
Mhm.
won't come the same thing. Like, the cake will be different, and that
Yeah.
shows how different we are, and that we really have to cultivate this essence inside of us. And we
So
only
good.
have the door when we open this box, right? So yeah, I truly invite everybody to cultivate this own essence by doing meditation and caring about their inner temple. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for helping us dive in. We got a lot to cover in this next 40 minutes. Thank you for getting us in the right headspace to get started.
Thank you. Thank you for the space.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Ciao. All right. So that was the coach Soul, Liza Soul, leading us through meditation. So when we talked about cleansing, the first thing we got to do is go inside. I've already mentioned that. And then we just went through a meditation that allowed us the opportunity to tap in. See, the problem that we most experience is that we're fed. We are fed, and we're used to being fed from the outside in versus the inside out. But the thing I need you to understand when we talk about cleansing is you've got to remember who you are. You are first and foremost an electrical being, literally. And so mentioned and tapped into that. I'm going to spend a few moments on that when we start talking about healing. But right now, I still want to stick with the idea of cleansing out the thoughts of others by taking time to go in and find out who you are, why you do what you do, and why you don't. Taking that time, step number 2, going within becomes critical. After you've gotten meditation, after you've done meditation, after you've positioned yourself to calm your mind, which by the way is a really great tool if you have a very tense household, or you may find that you're often in very, shall we say, spicy debates. Don't go to sleep with that energy. Like Soul mentioned, turning on soft music calms the human spirit. And that's why it's often used with meditation. Not that you have to do it. She just explained. And I know that sometimes it works for me. Sometimes I'm doing something different. But taking the time to clear my head is the first step in cleansing. The second step, as I was alluding to, is going within. Figuring out, okay, what's happening with me? Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? And what can I do about what I'm feeling? I know growing up, we always saw the serenity prayer. Lord, help me accept the things I can't change the things that I can change. You got it. But the idea is going within, because too often in society, we're always looking out. Someone did something to me. Someone did something to me. And so then we carry the weight of what someone did. The challenge with that is that the only person impacted by what they did is us. And that's oddly weird, isn't it? It's oddly weird that someone else can do something and you're the one impacted by it. Don't get me wrong. Yes, they can do something that can affect your life, but it doesn't have to affect your spirit, who you are, and what's happening in your life. Easier said than done, right? But it's still possible. And so I'm in the business of trying to empower people to really connect to that next level and rid themselves of excuse, including myself. So these things I constantly practice myself, going within to find out what's happening when it's happening. Real great tool for you. When you find yourself in that spicy debate, obviously you're not going to cut on symphony music. But while you're in it, ask yourself, why am I feeling what I'm feeling? No, not because of what they did, but why am I feeling it? Why is it impacting me that way? You see, the part of cleansing has to stimulate from within you. And this is why we start here. It has to stimulate from within you. The third thing when we talk about cleansing that I want you to do is I want you to delay the outside. Now, this is sort of like a morning routine, a great way to start. You start your morning meditation, not your phone, because that can become your meditation. You start your morning meditation, getting quiet, calming your spirit. Then you go within and find out how you're feeling, checking in with your body, what's happening, what's not happening. You're getting present with your body. Third, you delay the outside. That means literally you choose not to pick up any form of outside noise. I know you're used to it. I know we're used to it. We need the news on or we need music on, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I want you to try this for at least 1 week. Delay the outside noise. No phone, no news. Music is fine. Preferably instrumental, so that you're still able to be present with yourself after coming out of meditation and going within, because your spirit's going to start to answer you. And you got to be able to hear it. But if you're being fed by the outside noise, you might miss it. And that's why you want to delay the outside. And the fifth thing that you want to do, after you've delayed the outside, after you've cleared your head and you've gotten ready, and this is all just the cleanse mental game, I want you to then go connect. Because once you've spent time alone, you begin to clean up your internal space for the day. That's good. But see, we're designed to interact with others. And so as much as I don't mind being a hermit at times, the reality is my greatest work, my greatest influence, the greatest impact I can have or has had upon me is when I'm in interaction with others. But I've got to take care of myself first. So go ahead and cleanse your mind, cleanse your spirit by practicing those 5 things every morning to begin to start the day. Now, let's take a step deeper. I didn't mention anything about nutrition in that point, and I'm going to. But there's something really, really powerful about breath that I want to jump back into before we start talking about food and healing the body. And that's this. What's more important than food? Water. Yeah, that's one. And then, more important than water, is breath. See, when you take the morning and you begin to cleanse your energetic system by breathing and releasing, you begin to position your body to show up. You begin to allow your spirit to rise. As a matter of fact, I won't spend too much time on it right now, but our breath is what stimulates our electrical system in our body. So taking those deep breaths that Soul had us taking, that's all good because it's stimulating our internal electrical system, which then stimulates our neurological system, our nervous system, which then stimulates our muscular, skeletal, physical system. We often work out in the idea of taking the breath and doing the meditation and deep breathing in the morning begins to stimulate and open you up. Open you up. This is opposite of what you've been doing. I know. You got to work out to get your breath going. No, you got to intentionally breathe deep breaths like we were doing in the meditation a few minutes ago to begin to get the body stimulated, to open you up. That's where things like cold showers and all that stuff come in, but we won't do that in today's topic because I want to keep moving. But remember, taking time for the breath connects you with yourself. It's the most important element. Getting oxygen to flow through your body because it opens your brain. It opens up pathways. It opens up joints so you can show up. All right. That's the first section on getting cleansed or cleansing that I want to tap into with this particular seminar. The second thing I want to talk about is healing. And in this arena, I'm going to start to tap into the body. I want to tap into the body because there are things that you can easily do that feeds off of the cleanse piece that you just started, that begins to also layer in so that you can fully show up in your life. And that's healing. So to do that, first thing, water. Water. The most important thing after breath that we just learned is water. And so getting water in is a beautiful thing. I teach a whole lesson on water, how to drink it, and I'll give you a little bit of that. But I've been studying recently, and I learned something even more amazing about water. We are electrical beings. I just talked about that. If you forgot, do a little research. It's there. But the conduit that allows the electricity to flow through our body is water. As a matter of fact, I was listening to Dr. Norwitz the other day, and he was talking about Da Vinci and some of the things that he unpacked. And what he really honed and focused on is that water's the conduit to our creator. It's the pathway. A conduit, for those of you who don't know, it is the means by which current flows. So for example, when you're making, let's say you're making breakfast in the morning and you're going to fry something, right? I love popcorn. I love popcorn. I use the heirloom seeds. If I want to make popcorn, I can't just take the seeds and put it in the pot because the seeds will just burn. So you need a conduit that can transfer that electricity. In the human body, it's water. Water is a literal conduit. I learned in a cooking class, you don't need oil to grill your onions and saute your onions and your garlic. You can use water because it's a conduit. Now, that's the explanation on conduit. We're done with that. Because you are a conduit and we are all connected, whether you know it or not, we're all connected. When we hydrate or we are hydrated, it allows, get this, our cells to begin to function and expand like they're supposed to. The first thing a cell needs is oxygen. We just talked about that a minute ago. Now we're talking about hydration. Your cell needs hydration. It is your conduit to creativity. It is your conduit to your creator. It allows you to be able to be in tune. You see, there's the flip side of it is called dehydration. And dehydration causes stagnation. It disrupts flow. It blocks not only the energy, which is the most important thing that we're talking about right now, between you and your creator, but it also shuts down the creation, your body, the way you are designed to function. We know that we're all well above 70% water. Our beings are well above 70% water. This magical creation is designed to have the conduit of water, but also to use water to function like it's supposed to. You know, all those aches, joints, stiff lower back, dry lips, dandruff, excessive earwax, excessive mucus, dry lips, all of that are signs of dehydration. all of those are in turn signs of malfunction in the body. The body's not able to do what it's designed to do. And when we neglect water, the first part of healing, we disrupt our connection to God, our connection to ourselves, and our body begins to decay more quickly. Now, I bring this up because it's super important, because statistically, we know that 72% of the population is chronically dehydrated. Feeling thirsty, dark, strong yellow pee, peeing less than normal, feeling lightheaded or dizzy, feeling tired, a couple notes here, dry mouth, lips, tongue, sunken eyes. All of those things are indicators that you've gone too far. So what can you do about it? Let me give you my quick water lesson. The thing that you need to do about it is you need to, number one, start measuring how much water you drink a day. I know, it seems weird. It's like, Marquise, yeah, that's because we don't want to be held accountable. But if you want to be great, and you were designed to be great, and it's not too late, then you've got to take the time to measure your water. How much am I drinking? I'm constantly going back to this, constantly going back. Hey, how much did I get in? I'm feeling, oh yeah, water. Got it. More important than oxygen. Excuse me. Next important to oxygen. Oxygen is most important. Water's next. The next thing you need. So in order to heal, you've got to get your water right. I know many of you are taking pills. Many of you are trying to eat right, and all that's great. But if you're not hydrated, it really doesn't matter. What do you mean, Marquis? So I'm eating the raw vegan food. Hey, most of you aren't. But if you're eating the raw vegan food and lots of fruit, you probably are getting hydrated. But I'm talking to the majority of us who are not doing that. And we're just living life, but not knowing what's happening. Water is your number two most important thing you've got to be more intentional about. Going back, number one, breath, that deep breathing exercise. Two, water. Here's how you do it. Every 15 to 20 minutes, trying to rehydrate your body, I want you to sip about 4 ounces of water. Somewhere between 3 and 5 ounces of water. Now, I know you may be thinking, what is that? Well, if you had a bottle of water, it would be about that much. And if you did that every 15 minutes or so, you would finish about 1 16-ounce bottle of water per hour. I know you're thinking that's a little bit different. It is. But what I'm trying to do is help you reestablish your connection to the creativity, your spirit, man, as well as your physical, so you can show up in this life. Because see, water conducts electricity, or it transmits electricity, but that also translates into energy. So if you're feeling lethargic, you're feeling not enough, you're feeling not quite there, even in the bedroom, dehydration is a major component. Because your body can't circulate blood like it's designed to do. So get your water right. Every 15 minutes or so, you want to sip 3 to 5 ounces, or about 4 ounces, that'll take you through a bottle of water every hour. And if you're sipping like that, you won't find yourself in the restroom all day. Now, you may get started and you may feel it like, hey, Marquise, I'm not sure he's so right, but start there. As you begin to retrain your cells, they'll begin to absorb it. And as they begin to absorb it, all of a sudden you'll have more oxygen moving through your body, and you'll have more hydrogen, more water working through your cells. They'll start to expand. And when they start to expand, you begin to breathe more clearly. You begin to move more fluidly. Your skin stops being as dry and brittle. You begin to see wrinkles dissipate. You begin to see fat cells break down, including cellulite. Hydration is significant, and significantly more important than food. The second thing when we talk about healing is I need you to move your body. Now, I love that song. I like to move it. You like to move it. Here's the thing. As much as we sit down in today's society, 1 hour of exercise a day is not enough. Now, I know that sucks because we're trying to find when we're going to get that hour a day. But the reality is that research has shown us that 1 hour is not enough to overcome the 6 to 8 hours we sit every day. In fact, its effects are worse than smoking. Now, I don't know if you remember those Smoker can kill adds, sitting can stop you completely. I made that up. But really, sitting has the unfortunate impact of stopping us, shutting us down. Sedimentation, joints get locked, and we wonder what's happening with us. So we've got to move. Now, there's a couple of ways you can move. Number one, you need to intentionally plan that exercise time. There's just no way around it. Number two, make time to walk. Now, as a runner, I used to think that was cheesy. Walking doesn't do much. Walking, my friend, is God's gift to man and woman, of course. Walking. So planning with your loved one, by yourself, daily walks, whether that's early in the morning, if you live in a neighborhood that's not so safe, early mornings are good because knuckleheads usually sleep, or late in the evening after you've had your last meal of the day. Make time to walk. And for the fun of it, if you work at home, you can buy this new thing called a walking pad if you are interested. And you can literally, it's like a treadmill, but it's a much more scaled down version. And you can just walk during your meetings. My business partner, Dr. Tangi Brewer, she's on her treadmill all the time. People are like, how she's so slim and tight and fit? Well, Dr. Tangi doesn't play. She intentionally makes sure she's moving as a part of her day. The truth is, that's children. Remember when you were a child and I was a child? We were moving all the time. And that's why we didn't have to do all these extra intentional things. But if you look at your life now, we're sitting 85, 90% of the time. And that's why we're starting to decay. We just need to change our habits. So in order to begin to heal, you got to move your body. When you begin to feel better in your body, you have less of an attitude. Yeah, I know I'm messing with some people, but sometimes you have an attitude and you're frustrated with the people around you, not because they've done anything to you, but because you have that nagging toe pain, that nagging joint pain. So moving can begin to loosen that up, especially if you're hydrating, like I just talked about a few minutes ago. All right. The third thing I want to share with you around healing and how to begin the healing process is you've got to eat fresh. I know I mentioned earlier, you're an electrical being. You are a living, vibrant organism, and you need to consume things that are living and vibrant. Come on. I own 2 Mercedes. I love telling this analogy. They're both old, so let's start there. Nothing special. But one's a diesel, one's regular. Here's what I know. If I accidentally forget that the black car is diesel and I put an unleaded, even if it's premium unleaded, the best you can get, this is going to die. Now, why did I use that analogy? Because a lot of us are diesel and we're putting in premium junk food thinking, well, this restaurant's high quality, and so therefore I'm going to be all right. But that's the rub. It's still not the right fuel. And so what happens, that car stops within a matter of moments, minutes, got to clean the whole engine out, reset, change plugs, the whole shebang. Everything has to start from scratch. I'm inviting you to understand that even though you're eating high quality restaurant food, it's still the wrong fuel. I know you're thinking, Marquise, this doesn't make sense. Why are you guys so picky? Everyone can't eat like you. Whoa, pause. What I'm trying to get you to do is heal so you can actually show up. Unfortunately, these days, average is on a constant decline. And most of us think we're doing okay because we're doing a little bit better than average. But if we're still declining, we're on the same slippery slope. Nothing's going to change. So here's what I want you to do. Eat fresh. What do you mean? I want you to make sure every morning you're eating something fresh. How about that? Let's start there. Let's start with something fresh in the mornings. That can be a fresh juice. That could be a fresh smoothie. That can be a fresh salad. But start there. Give your body a waking chance. So many of us, especially my Chicago peeps, the most caffeinated city in the U.S. at one point, think we need our coffee, think we need our Red Bull. We need this pickup to get up in the morning. Well, part of that is because we've been improperly fueling. I work with clients a lot, and I also offer some free services because I have to test people to see if they're serious and really want to work with me. I don't have time to play with people who are not serious about what they're up to. And so one of the things that you can do is, if you need to pick me up in the morning, fresh glass of water in the morning, a little squeeze of lemon with a pinch of cayenne pepper. That's great for the water part, right? Then start with some fresh fruit and just see how you do. Just see how you do. Try it out. See how the first 2-3 hours of your day begin to show up. Skip the coffee, skip the stimulant, and allow your body to show up. You begin to notice things a little bit differently. You'll have a clearer mind. You'll be filled with a little less anxiety. A little teaspoon of chia seeds in the water is going to help with that. The fruit's going to help balance the sugar because it's natural sugar, and it's going to help you begin to awaken, doing yourself that favor. But eating fresh, that includes making sure you eat something more fresh at lunchtime as well. So if you give yourself something fresh in the morning, give yourself something fresh at lunch as well. And by evening, hey, you can begin to make some different choices, whatever suits you, floats your boat. But if you start there, you create this discipline, you begin to implement the healing process. Not, hey, I'm going to have my sausage, my turkey sausage and eggs, hard-boiled egg, because somebody said. Listen, my friend, somebody's always saying something because it makes them money. Here's what I need you to do. Just try it out. Try it out for a week. Journal, take notes, see how you're doing. See if you don't begin to feel your body feel different. See. All right, that's it. So we want to hydrate. We want to move. We want to eat fresh. Oh, one other tip for hydrating. First thing in the morning, hydrate. Last thing before you go to bed, hydrate. Now, hydration is truly a process, but what I'm saying in simple is have a glass of water. Have a glass of water before you go to bed. Keep a glass of water by your bedside overnight. You'll be surprised that when you have that in the middle of the night, if you have water right there, in a matter of a few moments, it'll go away. All right? The fifth thing I want to share with you is not only eat fresh, but I want to encourage you to eat less. We live in a day and age where the majority of us either work from home or have sit-down jobs. Do you know what that means? That means you're not the athlete you used to be. You're not the fine, sexy cheerleader you used to be. You're a stagnant human, not moving enough to warrant or counteract the impacts, the negative impacts of sitting. And so as a result of that, I need you to eat less. Why? Because you're not using that amount of energy. Many of us, we used to be athletes, or when, on our workout day, we eat more, and we think that we should eat like that all the time. You see, that's crazy, because if you're not expending that type of energy and you're eating that much, what is it going? Excessive weight, excessive mucus in the body, stimulants for disease, potential catalyst towards disease, because you're not moving to get that unnatural food out of you, and it causes pain in the body. It causes the system to slow down. It causes your connection with divinity to be interrupted because you're sitting on crud. You're sitting with stuff in you. You're not moving, and that flow, that natural flow of electricity through water in the body can't transpire because you've got too much waste sitting inside of you. So that's the fifth thing that I want you to do. I want you to eat less. Now, Marquise, you may be saying, I'm hungry. I got that. But if you're eating on the healthy things, the fresher things we just talked about, what you'll find is, oh, that sustains me. That carries me over. I had 2 apples today. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually great. But we're so disconnected from the earth. I understand why that seems weird. But I'm here to tell you it's okay. Choosing those options, keeping it light on the digestive system, allows your body to stay alert and stay present. One last tip before we leave the section on healing the body. Have your last meal, whatever it's going to be, give yourself at least, at a minimum, 1 to 2 hours before bedtime where you're moving, not sitting on the couch. Because if you're just going to eat and then sit, you're going to have the same problem that I described a little bit earlier in terms of having a more stagnant work culture, which then impacts the digestive system, which then impacts your sleep. I don't have a whole lot of time left, but I want to touch on that really quick. Right now, it is a known fact. It's a known fact that America is the most sleepless country on the planet. Sleepless. There's a stat. We're literally we lose $411 billion annually because of sleep deprivation. Showing up to work late, going to appointments, having more doctor's appointments, buying medicine, car accidents, like accidents are related to sleep deprivation. Work failures are related to sleep deprivation. There are so many things that are impacting your ability to sleep that our total economy could be saved in many ways if we just took the time to get proper rest. But because we don't understand that we need the proper rest, or we don't understand the impact of diet upon our rest, we do a lot of weird things and our body is basically rebelling. I was reading some stats the other day about sleep deprivation, and the sleeping pills you take, research is showing that it has a counter effect. It's actually keeping you awake more. So sometimes it might work, but other times it may not. If you start this cleansing process with the mind and this healing process with the body, you will be surprised how the body will allow itself to rest. But you've got to get out of your head and get back into your space. The purpose of food is not enjoyment. If you're a chef, we love you for it. But that's not the purpose of it. That's an art form with it. The purpose of food is to give you energy so that you can produce and show up in your life, the one you say you want to live, the one you imagine, that life, your real life, not the one you do on a hamster wheel. That's not your life. That's just somebody else's dream for you that you're living out. I'm talking about the one you say you really want to live. All right, so that's healing the body. Now, the last thing we want to tap into is resetting. We have just over 10 minutes, and this time's going to be up. I want to give you something, and I want to talk about something that I'm going to be offering as well. But when we talk about resetting, I want to reflect. First, we worked on our breath. Second, we worked on our hydration, and we incorporated some things around meal. Last but not least, we want to reset. Now, when I talk about reset, I'm being very specific. I'm talking about getting back to who you are and living life from that particular space. Now, I know for all of us, that looks a little bit different. And a lot of times it's because we've set up structures, we put things in place that, okay, this is my life. And I've got to maintain this life, whatever that looks like. Here's the reality. Too many of us are dying emotionally, mentally, and of course, physically, because we're carrying on a burden that's just too much for us. We're actually carrying on a burden, or we're carrying on life circumstances, shall I say, that were not designed for us, or are a result of difficult and are consequences of bad decisions that we made. That's just true. I have to, me included. But when I take time to reset, that means I've got to make some very hard choices. For example, ever had to reset your computer, right? Something's going on, or reset your phone, reset your iPad. Yeah. It means a few things. It means you might lose something. Yeah. You might lose some of your data. You might lose that spreadsheet you were working on because you forgot to save it. Yeah. When you reset your computer, you shut it off and you turn it back on, it means you're going to lose some things. When we talk about resetting in your life, I'm trying to get you back to you so that you can spend the rest of your waking days vibrant, whole, with a sense of peace, with a sense of wholeness, with a sense of gratitude, ultimately with a sense of purpose. I looked at America the other day without getting into the weeds of it. A lot of the crime, a lot of the murder, a lot of the shooting, all of that stuff is because people are not tapped into who they are. They're trying to maintain, and so it's time for the reset. So a couple things that you can do to reset. Number one, I need you to start exercising gratitude on a daily basis. You need to start exercising gratitude. Now, what does that look like? That looks like you finding out what is something I can be grateful for on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, I want to issue a gratitude challenge. You can put this on social media if you like. Every day, have one thing that you can be grateful for. Not the context of mine's better than yours. That's not gratitude. That's showing off. But consistently expressing gratitude to someone about something that you're noticing in your day. I don't care if it's just the sun. You see, for some of us, depression is so heavy that just seeing the sun is enough to be grateful for. But that's okay because that's part of the reset. It's part of the process. And as they begin to consistently acknowledge the sun, then they begin to see, oh man, the sun impacts the clouds. And it goes on and on and on. And as you begin to express gratitude, it causes you to reflect, because that's what gratitude's about, reflecting what was. The beauty of gratitude, though, is it then allows you to get present. Okay, like my life isn't that bad. My life's not that bad. I just reflected. I was giving gratitude. So my life's not that bad. All right. Once you've reflected, you've given gratitude. Now you're at the point of, guess what? Creating. You can now create possibilities in your life. Now, is that an easy thing? Yeah, it is an easy thing because it's free. It's free to create possibilities with your mind about your life. That's a free thing. And I encourage it. We need to do more of it instead of just accepting. We talked about this in point 1. What's coming in, you're now starting to create and stimulate what it is you want. Now, in the process of doing that, you want to make sure you're not just all positive. Yep, I love being positive. But what I mean by that is you want to also count the cost. All right, this is what I want. What is it going to take to make that transpire? And then lay it out. See, creation is a process. No artist says, I'm going to create art, and poof, there it is. We've all seen artists create art, and at the beginning, we're like, that just looks like a mess. But over time and careful focus and planning and strategy and consistency, the artwork begins to come about. What I want to know is, what is the artwork inside of you that you've been wanting to create, but you've not consistently worked on it? You see, I've got something I'm working on. I got to pick up my paintbrush again and tap back into it. The process of creation is a normal function of a human being. Not the scientist, not the entrepreneur, not the dancer, not the singer, not the celebrity. You, my friend, were born to create. It's your natural state of being. And so I need you to begin to tap into the creation process, but you got to give gratitude first so that you can get present. And then you can begin to create. I don't know what it is you want to create, but we need you to show up because it's inside of you for the purpose of your fulfillment and the benefit of us all. We're interdependent. We were made to interact with one another. I have to show up to connect with you so that you show up and give something to your family or something back to me. That's how we interact. Nature teaches us. Nature shows us that. If we didn't have sandy shores, the water would be all over the planet. So we need you to show up and bring what you bring to the table. The other thing that I want you to do is I want you to look around yourself. In order to reset, you've got to figure out, who am I still playing with? Whose sandbox am I still hanging out in? Who's in my circle of 5? That's, you know the saying. You become like the 5 people you hang out with the most, and you tend to make the same amount of money as those 5. I got some really rich friends. My day gonna come. But I'm dealing with people full of purpose. So I don't mind hanging out with them. I'm thankful they love hanging out with me. My question to you is, who are you hanging out with? Who are you spending time with and why? Most times we spend time with people who make us feel comfortable because that's easy. The challenge with that is that's not resetting. That's staying stagnant. That's remaining purposeless. That's feeling your false or your lower ego, which leaves you wanting. It actually leaves all of us wanting because you're not showing up. But when you reset and you begin to look at who you're spending your time with, you can make adjustments. And I want to encourage you to do that. You don't have to tell people, hey, I can't talk to you anymore, unless that's what you need to do. But let them make their own bed. You see, what you'll discover is when you begin to cleanse and you begin to heal, all of a sudden your spirit begins to show up. Remember, you got that water. Hey, Rick, good to see you, buddy. You got that water flowing through you, which connects you with your creator. And when you're connected with your creator, guess what you're going to want to do? Create. And so you're going to look to see, who can I work and connect with so that I can create? That's going to depend upon who's in your circle. So part of the process of resetting is to reset your circle, determine who you're going to hang out with, and begin to let other people go. It doesn't mean you don't love them. There's no love lost. Some of us need to forget about our past, need to leave our old neighborhood, because there's nothing there that's going to strengthen and make us better at who we are. Now, granted, of course, if you're giving and you set up a structure to give to someone else, that's fantastic. Keep it up. That's great. But your inner circle needs to be a group of people that help sharpen you. I used to go to church and there was this phrase, iron sharpens iron, meaning you can't use wood to sharpen iron. You need iron. And you, my friend, as a creator, you need creators to help sharpen you as well. And then I also want to leave you with this last nugget. This is something I do on a daily basis. And when I don't, I know what's happening with me. It's like something's wrong. I don't know what. You know what it is, Marquise. In order to fully reset, you've got to constantly nurture your spirit. You've got to nurture your spirit. We live in a world where things are always coming our way. There's always these thoughts in the ether, thoughts that you think are yours, but they're not yours. They're just thoughts that have been circulating in the electrical field called the ether, and you accept them like they're yours. Oh, I had this thought, so therefore it must be what I should do. No, I've had a lot of those dumb thoughts that I accepted and realized that was not the right move, although I thought it. No, I didn't think it. I accepted the thought coming my way. And every time a thought comes your way, contrary to you being a creator, contrary to who you know you are, accept it and let it go. Thank you. Next, keep moving. Don't even try to fight and resist it, because what you resist persists. And I don't want you lost in that transition or lost in that process. I want you to reconnect by nurturing your spirit. There's several things that you can do to nurture your spirit. Number one, quiet time. We talked about meditation earlier. This is a little bit different. I'm talking about time alone, time away from your spouse, time away from your loved one, time away from work, time away from friends, time alone. One of my big brothers, he used to go to the movies himself and take himself to dinner, which I thought was so weird and strange. But what he did was he got to learn to love himself in that process. In order to nurture your spirit, you've got to really love you. The excess fat, the mental strain, the bad habit, you got to really embrace it all. And in doing that, that's where you begin to heal it. That's nurturing it. That's making sure you're taking care of who you are so that you can show up. Another thing that you can do to help nurture your spirit is spend time reading or listening to audio around something that you are hoping to grow into, you're wanting to expand into. I'm wanting to be a CEO, right? So I just bought a book, and I start listening to that book to stimulate. Okay, that's part of the spirit of who I am. The book is not going to give me exactly what I need to do because it's not me, but it can stimulate and cause my soul to awaken and start processing and thinking and considering. That's how you nurture your spirit. Listen, we're just about out of time, and I want to offer you something pretty daggum unique. I've talked about cleansing, I've talked about healing, and I've talked about resetting. I want to leave you with an opportunity. This opportunity, I'm going to post it tomorrow. If you're watching this live, especially if you're watching live, I want you to write this coupon code down. CHR75. CHR75. The reason I want you to write that coupon code down is you might need it. You might want it. You might desire it. I am releasing my program, 15 Pounds in 30 Days, starting next weekend. It is a course. It is a 4-week course where there's going to be a group call on a weekly basis where I'm going to tap in. I'm going to provide guidance. I'm going to provide coaching, and I'm going to provide so much more. If you're interested, all you need to do is write that code down for now and pay attention, because I'll be announcing it within the next day or so, where you can go register and sign up, or just reach out to me. I got you. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. I got it. Matter of fact, because I'm on multiple platforms, I can't share the link right now. It's not the easiest way to do that, but reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me. You can comment in the YouTube chat. You can comment on the Facebook post. Comment wherever you're watching this. I'll reply. I'll get your email. I'll get you signed up and send you the information. But let me break it down. There's a few things you need to know. Number one, the program is normally it's valued at well over $1,000, mostly because you get me every week. But for those of you who are watching this program and you are interested in it, that discount code CHR75, you can get the entire 4-week program at 75% off for $186.75. That's only going to last. That is only going to last till Monday because I cannot allow the program to go that cheap. But it's there. Now, what are you going to get, Marquise? What are you talking about? What comes in 15 pounds in 30 days? Several things. As I said, it's a 4-week plan that's going to help you heal and cleanse. It's not about whether you lose 15 pounds. That's not what it's about. I've had people lose 17 pounds in the first 2 weeks, in the first 10 days. I've had people lose 25 pounds over the 4 weeks. I'm really not doing this because I want people to lose weight. That's not my game. My game is to help you heal so you can show up in your life. Yeah, it's called 15 pounds in 30 days, but how much you lose is going to vary. I've never lost a client. I'll say that. But here's what I need you to know. It's a step-by-step plan. It's filled with education. I've got videos coming on a weekly basis. I've also got handouts, PDFs, where you can track your water, you can track your diet as it relates to your mood and connecting to how your day went, so that you begin to see and begin to build this symbiotic relationship between how you're taking care of yourself and how you're showing up in life and how those relationships interact. I'm also going to provide you with menus and recipes so that those of you who need to be told, hey, I need someone to tell me exactly what to do, I got you. I'll be delivering that as well. I'll also be taking the time to walk you through the purpose of food and really break that down, and also begin to help you understand hydration even more so that you can manifest it. There will be a detox period in there. I'm going to help you cleanse. And by the end of 30 days, what's going to happen is you will have begun to visit a brand new you. A brand new you. If you were a meat eater, don't worry. There's room for you in the program. It's not a problem. But I have a very calculated program that I started, almost 15 years ago. And it's gotten better as research has gotten better. And I'm redelivering it for you now. This has been our time. I hope that you take the time to cleanse so that you can heal and reset your life in the motion it was determined and destined to be in the first place. I'm your coach, Marquise Martin Hayes, the Inspiration Architect. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.